Aloha fam, it's Unity Grace. I am here at the legislature in British Columbia, Victoria, Vancouver Island, and using this amazingly beautiful, powerful grid line to share a message about the divine unions that are now birthing on the planet, because the grid lines that have been that were shut down for a long time, that were keeping humanity locked in certain dimensional frequencies and unable to evolve beyond the realms of certain dimensional aspects of the self, are all beautifully free and liberated. Time of celebration, joy, and love. And because of the liberation of these wonderful ley lines, something amazing is happening inside of us, which is the opportunity to actually ascend and get off the karmic wheel and do all those great things. So I'm just going to do a quick little vid tonight because I was guided to share some of this info, and basically what's happening is we're coming to this divine union piece within ourselves. So the last couple of months has been probably a little intense for a lot of people on the planet who have been merging the polarities within the self. And in doing that, in merging our yin and our yang energies, we're going through this really amazing and profound actual physical transfiguration. And so as that occurs within the self, the auric field becomes sovereign. And when our auric field becomes sovereign, we're no longer like a substance on the table of elements that requires a proton or an electron to complete itself. So on the table of elements, everything requires a proton or electron except the 7 noble gases. And so we're just going to walk up these stairs and enjoy the power of this grid line as I talk about this. The 7 noble gases do not require a proton or electron to complete themselves. And so that means that their auric field is energetically sovereign. And so that's what's happening for a lot of people on the planet right now. And as the field becomes energetically sovereign, a lot of things inside of the self change. So our sacral energy, our central channel begins to activate. This is where the power of the light ship Merkaba that we are really begins to activate within us. And the lower 3 chakras begin to release their hold on the consciousness, and that energy starts to rise within, and the whole central channel activates. All the chakras begin to merge, and as they do, it opens our Ka body. It opens our antenna to a higher aspect of the self to begin to come in. It's called the 6th initiation. And the higher aspect of the self is then able to come into these avatar flesh suits and begin to take some authority over down here over the lower nature of the flesh is weak part of us. So the thing that the guidance wanted me to mention tonight is this piece about the divine unions coming, because once we become a noble gas and our field becomes sovereign and we no longer require a proton or an electron, we no longer require an energy exchange outside of ourselves to be whole, which is what relationships were all functioning on the planet up until basically March 21st was when we ended that you could say energy vampiring, energy dualism, or that requirement for energy completion outside of us. And so as we come into these sovereign holistic fields, then a lot of divine union partnerships are actually starting to unfold on the planet. And we become energetic light bodies together for the ascension of the earth plane. The earth plane we call Gaia, or 3D, or physicality, where we're raising the vibration of matter. into a higher frequency to stabilize a new experience. And so here's one of the things about the divine unions is that you know who is bringing that frequency with you. If you've met them, you know. You have zero doubt in your mind whatsoever. If you haven't met them, you know they exist, because this is an aspect of the self that's becoming expressed. So there are surrogates that come into our life to help us work through specific issues in order to come into that holistic field. And then there is the one who is carrying the equanimous codes with us as a twin ray union. And something about that is that you may have even had experiences with that person and then went reeling backwards, and you don't speak anymore and you don't see them anymore and all those kinds of things, but you just know within yourself, not from an obsessive place, just from a place of knowing. There's a big difference between believe and know. We're moving into a state of pure knowing about a lot of things. And so one thing to mention is that for a lot of the partnerships that have come together, they've actually seeded something like conceiving a child. They've actually conceived an auric field that is currently being structured energetically for both of those consciousnesses to reside within. And so you may not be with that partner at this time, but if you start to stay in the knowing and realize that one partner might be more, it's a weak word, but more awake than the other, or more aware, or just at a certain state, one partner may actually be holding that conception. So here's the really cool, fun part of it. If you live in a knowing and you know that you've birthed this energy field that's building, it's like building a new home that you're both going to move in together. You both lived in separate apartments, you got married, you made a commitment to each other, and now you're building a home to come in together. So that's what's happening with the energy fields, the aura fields. It's the unio mystica, the divine marriage. And these auric fields are of a different vibrational frequency. So both partners are going through the process of shedding the dualistic consciousness within them so that they can reside in one auric field together. So if you're in a state of knowing and your partner is not in that state of knowing, you may be the one right now that is like the pregnant mother carrying the child. And you can begin to move into the joy of holding that energy field and working with that energy field and allowing that energy field to inform you, because it is an energy field of quantum intelligence. And quantum intelligence is different than quantum entanglement. We've been in a lot of states of quantum entanglement, but quantum intelligence is pure bliss. So just know that you may be the one that is holding that beautiful baby, you could call it, or project, or whatever, energy, house, home, rocket ship, and begin to interact with it like it is an intelligent being, the way that a mother would begin to communicate with a child that's in her womb, or how many tribes communicate with a spirit before it even is conceived. Begin to reach out and inquire to that energy field for guidance, and begin to engage with it. And when we do, we discover that there is something really incredible and blissful going on. And even if you have not found that divine partnership, you haven't met in this earth plane, but you know that you are coming together, you can also begin communicating with that unio mystica aura. That one aura that is encompassing already is what's drawing you both together. And begin to invite it to inform you. We're birthing light bodies within ourselves, and we are birthing these auric fields for two light bodies to come into together. And this is not about the loss of the individuality. In fact, it is a place where the uniqueness of each being is fully expressed. There's just no more dualistic push-pull going on, so that the full expression of each being can occur in a state of beauty and love and grace the way it was meant to be. So maybe I explained that, and I hope this little sharing has been helpful. And I'm gonna keep doing a lot of videos lately, just short ones, because a lot of friends are calling and asking for assistance right now, and so I feel to just keep sharing the pieces that I can share that may be helpful for us. And yeah, live in bliss. It's here, it's happening, we're in the miracle, and it's a time of joy and celebration. So play, let go of the distractions, and yeah, allow ourselves to go for this great ride, because we've really achieved it, and it's happening inside of us. All right, butterflies, until next time, love you from the legislature.